So with my sneakers, they have a high price point with a very, very little profit margin, meaning that the amount that I make off of it compared to the price of the shoe is very, very, very little. So I was told by the company that I work with, hey, if you replace this particular material with this material and you make it this kind of way, then it would lessen the amount that you're spending for material where you can have a higher profit margin. And that is non-negotiable to me because the whole point of the sneaker is that they are premium and they are not mass produced. And that's the selling point. So to answer your question, that is non-negotiable. So I don't want to negotiate the quality of the shoe to get more of a profit for myself. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just kind of is what it is.
Gotcha.
Hey, so I know a lady, right? She started out the same way. She wasn't willing to compromise on the material that she wanted for her line, and she stuck with it. And to make a long story short, she saw that she had a vision and she wasn't going to slow down. They lost their home. They lost everything they had. Her and her husband ended up sleeping in the car right here in Lakeland. All right. But she refused to budge. She stuck with the material she wanted. The money, she wasn't making that much money off of it. And man, she's booming now. She's making I don't know, over $7 million a year. She signed a contract with Disney.
Wow.
It just
awesome.
To me, it's just crazy how they lost everything over a clothing line, but you still knew that you could do it, and she refused to budge off how she wanted to design it, and she stuck with it, and look where she's at now. So
Right.
when you had
And
said
you know
that,
what?
when you had said that
That
my profit margin is not that, I just thought about her because it might not be that big yet, but if you see your vision, you stick with it, you keep pushing, it'll get there. It's like once it pop and it turn that corner, you there. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, that's major. Even to add to that, I think with the climate that we're in, with everything that's going on and I know it seems like I'm going off the Richter here a little bit, but it'll come back full circle. But with the climate that we're in now, you have all these different environmental issues. You have all these different health crises going on. And a lot of these things stemmed from the lack of ethics in doing business. You know what I mean? And I think that it is time for a change in the way we do business that starts with ethical leaders that are going to be like your friend that you were talking about, or like myself, that have these non-negotiables that kind of show that lends itself to a better way of doing business. You know what I mean? And the reason why I say that, because right now I also have a national shoe drive that I'm working on. Well, it's an ongoing national shoe drive, and what made me want to do that was because of fast fashion. Now, just to kind of give you a guy's idea of what fast fashion is, it's a business model that businesses like Fashion Nova or Zara, they kind of churn out runway fashions like this, and they are able to do that because they're using cheap labor and they're using cheap material. Now, from a business aspect, it's awesome for them because I would imagine their profit margins are super, super high because they're not putting much into the material. So it seems like a win-win because you have consumers getting clothing at a lesser cost and they're able to buy a lot of clothes and not spend that much money. They're able to make a profit, but we have to look at what's happening. How is that affecting things on the back end? There's multiple countries that their waterways are affected in different places where they're working under terrible working conditions because that employer is only concerned about getting clothes out or shoes out. They're not concerned about, making sure that you're a happy employee. They're not concerned about making sure that the environment that you work in is safe and up to code. They're not, it's all about money. And when you make business decisions based off of money, solely off of money, you're going to start doing some unethical things. And those unethical things are going to have effects that we might not correlate to that decision in the moment. But if you take a look and sit back and just kind of put things together, they're all related. You know what I mean? So I think that we, all of us, as consumers and business owners, have to be conscientious of the things that we're doing, because this behavior, kind of just letting things go the way it's always been, we're in a lot of trouble. A lot of people don't realize that, you know, the environment does matter. The way you dispose of materials does matter. A lot of things matter in the production of a brand. So I just, to me, those are non-negotiable things. I want to make sure that people who are making my sneakers are getting a livable wage, because that's important to me. I want to make sure that the person who's buying my sneaker is investing in something. They're not just buying a sneaker that's going to be gone or tear up, you know, in a couple of weeks because it was so cheaply made. They're going to have a sneaker for a long time, which on a business aspect, you know, it's not a high turnover where a person is coming back to purchase back to back, because it's not, you know, it's not being disposed of that quickly. But I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? I'm okay with that, because the idea is not to, it sounds ludicrous to even say it being a business person, but the idea is not a profit. The idea is to offer quality products and do business ethically.
No shortcuts. No
Yep.
shortcuts.
No,
Hmm.
absolutely.
That's good. That's good. I have two more questions for you, and Tara may have one more. We'll
Sure.
see. This is from the audience. Sneaker Vibes Only. Shout out Sneaker Vibes Only. She said, "Are there
Hi.
any
Thank you for
brand
watching.
slash people you would like to collab with in the future?"
Mm. I never even really thought about it, so that's a really, really great question because I never thought about if I wanted to work with any brands in the future. I would say, if it's possible, I would love to do a collaboration at some point with Betsy Johnson. I don't know if you guys are familiar with her, but she has like this elected type of brand that has all these different colors. She is one of my inspirations. I would say her. Sophia Webster is another designer. And these are all people who are, well, Betsy Johnson, she designs clothes, accessories, as well as footwear. But Sophia Webster is solely in the footwear industry, but she makes heels. But she's just always making like these colorful heels with like these 3D butterflies coming off of the shoe, and just like all these eclectic designs, as well as Betsy Johnson. So I think that kind of collaboration would be so dope.
I like it. I like it. Another question that
Yeah.
came in from Get Laced. Shout out to you guys. Um,
Hi.
Now that things are in motion, tell us what current obstacles you are facing.
That's a good question.
Sure. And just to shout him out, you guys, if you are sneakerheads and you are a person who is concerned about the appearance of and the aesthetic of your sneaker, and you want like dope custom laces or just something that sets your sneaker off, check out Get Laces. He makes super dope laces. Actually, for the month of October, he got different types of pink laces. So if you're kind of a person who want to like freak your sneakers out, definitely check him out. Um, Shameless plug,
I,
but
I watched his
he
when
got.
he interviewed you. That's how.
Oh, you did? Okay, awesome. Great guy. I really, really enjoyed that interview. Same way I am with you guys, because it's in depth. It's not kind of like a just, you know, you're on here and we're just talking because you're on here. It's like you can tell you guys are very interested, and I love that. But to answer his question, now that things are in motion, tell me, what are your current obstacles? Like I said, when I brought up the campaign that I have going on with I Fund Women, that is to kind of help with one of the biggest obstacles that I'm facing right now, and that is being able to market my brand aesthetically that's comparable to major premium lifestyle brands that's already out there. So that is the biggest obstacle that I'm facing, because as you guys can